This video abstract provides a brief summary of the article Eruption and Absorption by Dr. Tom Froese, published in the journal Entropy in the year 2024. For many scientists, explaining how the mind makes a difference to the body essentially consists in a two-step procedure. 1. Reduce the mind to the brain, and 2. Explain the behavior in purely neurophysiological terms. The relevant receptor cells are activated by the fire such that the nervous system initiates a reflex to contract the arm muscles. But what about actions that are not mere reflexes? This question becomes especially pertinent in the case of human beings. What about the reasonable assumption that a subjective experience, such as feeling pain, can also play a role in behavior generation? And if so, what about the reverse influence? For example, when the resulting intentional action produces a feeling of agency. In other words, the problem of mental causation becomes entwined with the hard problem of consciousness, making both of them similarly intractable. Eruption theory proposes to reassess the implicit premises that have led to that point by explicitly stating three foundational axioms, and then deriving an alternative working hypothesis from first principles. The starting point of the theory is to accept that an agent's motivations, as such, make a difference to the material basis of the agent's behavior. This is axiom 1, motivational efficacy. A second fundamental axiom of eruption theory holds that it is impossible to measure how our motivations, as such, make a difference to the material basis of behavior. Essentially, while we can measure the neurophysiological dynamics underlying behavior generation, we can never measure agential intentions, not even in principle. In combination with axiom 1, this entails that neurophysiology gives us only a partial description of what constitutes an action, which is why axiom 2 is called incomplete materiality. The tension between axioms 1 and 2 would only exist if the material states could completely specify the generation of behavior. However, the existence of chaotic dynamics and quantum indeterminism rule out the possibility of such a complete specification in principle. This is captured by axiom 3, underdetermined materiality. Given the starting point of axiom 1, that mind makes a difference to behavior, but without being reducible to a measurable bodily property per axiom 2, then axiom 3's indeterminism opens another logical possibility. The more an agent's embodied activity is motivated, the less that activity is determined by its material basis. In other words, the efficacy of the mental could still be indirectly captured in neurophysiological domain in terms of increases in unexplained variability, eruptions. As a first approximation, eruptions can be measured as an increase in information, theoretic entropy. We now have a clear conceptualization of what to expect when mind makes a difference to the body. And what about neural activity making a difference to subjective experience? In this case, we can observe neural events, but not their expected downstream consequences. Eruption theory introduces the concept of absorption to refer to this reduction of neurophysiological variability during its transaction with subjective experience. In summary, eruption theory places mind squarely into the workings of nature as it is described by the physical and life sciences. Although mind cannot be directly observed inside the body, it indirectly participates in its dynamics. Moreover, this mutual influence can be measured by treating the interaction between mind and body as a black box middle that modulates the uncertainty with which neurophysiological activity will unfold. In this way, eruption theory provides explanations from first principles. It makes it understandable why neural entropy and neural synchrony are key signatures of cognitive effort and subjective awareness, respectively. If you would like to learn more, please read the article or follow Dr. Froese on social media.